So we got our first shiny yesterday, which was our female Cricketot in Legends Arceus. We're back in Sword and Shield, so we're going to go and do a quick little run through the story. I basically want to unlock the bike. So yeah, that's going to be the plan. What sort of test sounds are you trying out? Like sound alerts or just sounds around the house? Right, yes, we're going to go all the way up here. We've got to probably battle hop, I'm not going to lie. We've got a team of 4 level 65s. I think we're going to be okay. I've done this quite a few times recently, where we've pretty much just speedrun the whole game. I don't really care, you're going to just sit in there, you're not really worth my worries right now. So there is our giveaway box. Change name to giveaway box. As we say, each game will have one. And I should have done this bit when I was in home, but I forgot. And I would also like to change the wallpaper because I hate the bland white. I'm honest, I like the darker colours, to be honest. And I wish there was a way to put them all. They really are crap in here, aren't they? That'll have to do. And the same for this one. Right, that's where we're going to put our catches. Okay, I get that. I imagine you looking into like a stream element type thing for that. That's how I've got most of mine set up through there. Very little is done properly through Twitch, and actually that reminds me I should have changed some rewards today. Maybe we'll put the music up a little bit more actually, it's a bit quiet. What did I need to change? I needed the sword and shield stuff on. We can keep that on, that can stay on. Galarade. Pick let's go, not the map one, do a surprise trade. Random 30-minute, DA. Online battle, Masuda not yet. Bingo battle, claim a shiny, that one. Right. That should be right now. Okay. Like the only one I have got remotely involved in was that I've got two. I've got most of my stuff is done purely through stream elements because I found it so much easier to do all of the alerts. And even like the overlay background is all stream elements. Like the only thing that goes through OBS is pretty much the game mic and camera now. Everything else is directly through elsewhere. And I used Blurp for a couple of the alerts, but I've slowly been pushing them out as well. I did have a lot more to start with, but I started dumping them all because they get a little bit annoying, to be honest. And you've got to be careful with a few copyright stuff if you did want to put something on YouTube. A couple of them we used, and when I uploaded the VOD I had to cut out the snippets of music or sound alert stuff. So it's always worth to be double sure. It's all about the length of them. But they're the only ones I use, so I chose not to. Like, you can build everything on the browser of stream elements and then just copy the browser source onto the backdrop. It's just an example if you did want to start clipping everything and then you go to upload something that you found that was really good that you had done on Twitch. If somebody put a sound alert, you may have to cut the sound out of that snippet. It's more just preparing you for what could happen rather than telling you what to do or not what to do, if you get what I mean. I had quite a fun little... I used Shiny from Moana for a while for one of my alerts, but it was too long. Okay, well, I didn't want to run into something. Talking of YouTube, I did decide to set up all of my socials. I've had Instagram and TikTok set up for this for a long, long time. But I've actually gone and set up a Blue Sky account as well as a what's it called? As well as a Twitter account. I've got a big Twitter account already, but I want to keep everything separate. Welcome in, ironically. Things are going well. How are things for you? Have you finished Mario Kart yet? It is surprisingly dark today, isn't it? It is raining here today, so maybe we make myself a little bit brighter. That might work. Yeah, so we will be doing a few D8 a bit later. I'm working on a bit of the storyline today first. Oh, it's easy to get lost in that open world, isn't it? Like, I was working through whenever I was racing just to rotate through the races to try and unlock all of the costumes, but the only one I've finished is Yoshi. I've got a good chunk of Mario and I think a good chunk of Luigi done, but I never know what's what in all the stands. I'm a bit slow to understand what's what. I think it's longer than 10 seconds is too much, but a follow alert at 9 and attempt a second sound. Okay, well, the good thing is you're at the stage where you can do a bit of experimenting, shall we say. You can do whatever you want for a while. Nothing's really locked for you. There is an easy way to do the outfits, I get it. You can just find the food stand and then rotate through the characters to get them all, can't you? I just wanted to just almost do it naturally, if that makes sense. We're just going round. That makes sense. Okay. But as I said, there's so much to do. I just really struggle to enjoy it singly or offline. And even when I join somebody online, like first couple, nearly 20 players in the lobby, and then the last stream they did, it was down to like 5 or 6, and it was the same time of day, and it kind of feels like it's sort of had a big burst and has already started to die off in a horrible way. Yeah, I get that. Like, I completely get it for the costume thing. Like, it was also so I could test all the drivers and see what they're good and bad at. That's the other reason why I took a bit more time, just not instead of standing on each boardwalk and getting the food and rotating the character, which is the simple way. I like the chaos of trying to actually get the costumes in the race as well. But that's my way of playing it. I'm not in a rush to do it. I've got the character I most want, which is the purple, maybe blue Yoshi that I want to use. So that's good for me. When it comes to exploring, I just don't know where to look. Yeah, I get it. I get it. As I say, it's more when you play online, you sort of travel around, and I like to just do like the Grand Prix of 4 to 6 races and then change up the driver and then do the next set of costumes and stuff like that. So I'm not in a rush to complete it. If I complete it, then I won't go on there and find something interesting to do the next time. So that's kind of why I'm taking my time. But I'm not really playing it offline as well. That's just kind of the strange thing for me. Come back. I know I've got to face this trainer. Yeah, and I know on offline you can look at how many outfits they have, can't you? Like, I don't get why only some have lots and some have like 2. It doesn't seem fair. Sort of makes a few characters feel almost a bit more obsolete in the game. I don't know if the NPCs collect the food and change, but I guess it's more they didn't want to program it. It sounds like a lazy programming thing. But again, it's just one of those things that's just part of the game, I guess. Maybe they'll do an update that can sort of make the NPCs have the fancier costumes. But then the other side of it is it may be just so that you know who you're facing if you're doing a big Grand Prix. Like, I still wish you could do a Grand Prix of like 16 races offline, if that makes sense, instead of doing each Grand Prix. And I know that sort of makes sense. I hope you get what I mean. Because like when you're online, you can set up a tournament for as many races as you want, can't you? And people can dip in and out. I just wish you could do a bit of that offline, but there probably is a way. I just haven't seen it. But today we are going to do some DAs. I do have the other switch here if we need a fourth person. So that is going to be something on the table. And of course we did get our first shiny yesterday, which was our shiny female Cricketot. You know, the most difficult, appealing, surprisingly brilliant Pokemon you're ever going to see. So there is that. We've got one. Not really, but if you want to do custom courses instead of the Grand Prix, just do versus. Okay. I just like the tournament sort of style to the Grand Prix, if that makes sense. Thank you for the alert, Dorcas. Welcome in. We are doing DAs today, eventually. I just want to get the bike, because it's annoying me not having the bike. But isn't versus just you pick each race one at a time? Like it's part of my weird obsession with statistics and tables, and I like the fact that you could come 12th one race and it ruin your championship thing, and you've got to somehow work your way back into the race. That's kind of what I love about the Grand Prix mode, and which is what I love on the online mode. And when you do 8 races, I was racing with Bradlow, and I think I came consistently 4th, and he did he came 13th once and then first the next race, and he had more points than me in the table. And it shows you just how crazy it is when it comes to racing. You just don't know where you're going to be on that table, and I really like that side of it. That's kind of why. Yes, so I did decide to make all of my other socials. I've been really lazy. I've got a basic Blue Sky and Twitter account, but that's for more of my personal stuff, movie stuff. Big following on Twitter, not so much on Blue Sky because I don't really use it that much, but I've made one especially for the channel now. So I'm going to be building, so if people have Blue Skies and Twitters, I will be starting to follow. I should do more on TikTok because of this challenge. We only put the first video up because we've only got one shiny so far. That's something. I'm probably going to do the first shiny hunt race at the end of the month, once I've got these saves set up. I did put a little poll in the Discord if anybody did want to vote on it. Well, one is pick the game, where it can just be anything. One could be a random card from the deck of cards we've got here. One will be a type, so we try and catch as many flying types for 2 or 3 hours, etc, etc. So there's a few options, so hopefully some people will come along and vote away on that. I'm so not interested in this storyline. It's ridiculous that I've done it so many times. Oh, I get sick of it. I don't really mind playing through this game because it is easy. I do like nuzlocking it, but I only really want the shiny charm. Thank you, Dragon. I should have probably done 2 polls, and one being pick the game and one pick the physical game as such, and one pick the type of shiny hunt, if that makes sense, or type of race. But we'll work on that. So yeah, now we've got to learn more from Stonehenge. As all the British people will know, where we're going now is actually a real place. No worries, Kim. Thank you for coming in and lurking. Hopefully it's not too much, and you can figure out what you need to do. Yeah, so everybody who's lived in England, apart from like the obvious of Stonehenge, knows that this is a real thing, and is quite famous because sometimes people put jeans on it because it's too rude for them. But the clay figure on the big cliff top or hilltop is very famous. So yeah, you can go past this driving and go, wow, what's that? So it's nice that some other places do seem to make sense. I always say the same with the maps. Like, we obviously know like Wyndon is like London. It's definitely that shaped when they drew it first. I've been past it plenty of times, just to say, not on purpose. But even when you look at the town map, like all the towns, like you can almost figure out what's what, can't you? Like, I think like Hammerlock is meant to be sort of like more of like maybe a Manchester or Birmingham. I would say Manchester, and this would be a Birmingham. Holbury, even though it's there, I feel is meant to be more of like maybe something like a Liverpool type thing, like docks and all that stuff. This is, I think, just meant to be Chichester, but it is almost based in Scotland. I would say Hull, but I didn't realise Hull was so docky. Welcome in, Cheerio. How are you doing? Spikemuth is quite clearly sort of like the rebel town that nobody wants to go to. But it's good. It's good that they sort of all work together nicely. I always used to think Holbury was Hull, but it seems I always think Hull's meant to be quite a dreary town. But then it was voted the city of culture. I guess a couple of years ago, wasn't it? And everyone laughed because, of course, the Brits can't vote. I am good, thank you. Hopefully everything is good with the little one. And you're both having some fun. We have come back to the most popular thing with Pokemon is Dynamax Adventures. We will still be playing at 1 in 300 odds for a little bit longer because, like we said, we want to get to the bike, which is not too far away. Let's be honest. We've got to beat this badge, do the double battle, beat the Team Yell. I think I have to face Hop before Holbury. I may do that and just get to Holbury and stop there. But if anyone does want to do DAs, let me know and then we can commit to it. If I'm the only one here, I may stop for a little bit longer. May do the Holbury battle. But I think I'm planning the Shiny Hunt race in a couple of weeks, purely because then I should have completed the areas to unlock Shiny Hunting. i.e. Legends Arceus, I should have the whole map unlocked. This I will have the Shiny Charm. I'm probably not going to do the Champions Cup, but I may do all 8 badges because I want to keep the level scaling for Isle of Armor. I don't want to be having to deal with level 60s in the wild area and Island Armor. I kind of like that. So that's good then. At least she's happy, right? And she likes her favourite auntie, right? And where is Karen hiding today? There we are. That's how difficult these gym challenges are. Oh dear. I don't know whether I like the idea of gym challenges or think they're just like no longer needed. But I just like, you do them and this is it, and you still got to face the trainer. I'd rather just face the trainers, if I'm honest. And tomorrow we'll be back in Violet. I'm hoping to get all 8 badges done by the end of tomorrow. We are like level 41-ish, which is right on par with Rhyme. beat that, I think Tulip is only a couple of levels higher and Grusha is only a couple more. I think my team is good enough to beat them. So we'll stick with that for now. We'll probably do the Titans, but then we might speed run the Ogerpon storyline, because I do want to do that at a lower level so I can get a low level Ogerpon, and then we'll do Team Star. So we'll have to do one session on Violet where we're going to do all of the final battles in Area 0. One, because it's a bit long, if we're honest. But I have to pretty much switch off all of the shiny alerts for that session. I can't really risk it. Somebody trying to claim, go and do a shiny hunt in the middle of the Elite Four or something like that. It's just going to break the game. You know what? One thing I'm sad about Sword and Shield is that you just don't get to hear the trainer battle theme after you finish the game. Oh, is that because there's no more trainers? And thanks for that, I'm going to actually switch the music up a little bit more. Or one. It doesn't help, I keep the switch on quite low level because I know how frustrating the beginning of this game is without the earbuds. Oh, I hate you, Yampa. No, go the right way. Yes, keep going. Where are you lot stopping? Come on, you little sheep. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, the switch is actually very, very quiet, isn't it? Let's just turn this up a little bit. That seems a bit too loud. I don't know, it doesn't help that Windows decided to do one of its stupid updates, and every time I do an update on Windows it messes up the volume on my end. And I just can never get it right for like 3 or 4 resets of the computers or the laptops. Yesterday was driving me crazy. I had everybody's Twitch on like 1% and it was still blaring out, and I don't know why. And then it did more updates today and I can't figure out why it does it. That shows my technical know-how when it comes to being on laptops, I guess. I'm also annoyed that the Switch 2 keeps crashing in Fortnite. I've done 2 custom games and my character just freezes in the middle of nowhere and I just get kicked out of games. I've never once had that on the Switch 1. And also, because I'm a madman, I decided to order the special edition Legends EA. I think there was a bit of peer pressure in there. So I'm getting like the Charizard statues, a new hat, an umbrella, a plushie. I don't know why, but I've ordered the big bundle off the Nintendo Store site. Physical copy of the game as well, not the download stuff. So I'm all prepared for when ZA comes out. It will probably turn up in the middle of stream, because of course it will. Welcome in, boy from Belgium. How are you doing? How was the late night shaman hunting? I know I missed the second session. I know, because it was quite a late one for you, wasn't it, as well? From what I remember. I do have like the funkiest team for this like early run. I still want to catch 2 more things in the DAs. No worries. I know the annoyance that the deliveries come right in the middle of the streams, and I still end up doing the deliveries. Oh no, so you're at pretty much odds now, aren't you? Or is that what the odds should have been? You should have had one by now. Over odds. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Maybe you should have done it in April when you had all the shiny luck. I'm surprised you didn't just stop when you hit odds and then the next one you went for it, if that makes sense. Are you sure it's not 1 in 8,000 just to spite you, this shaman? And how are you going to do the Reggie one? Are you going to put in the code and then just reset the game, or are you going to run and relight up the lights? For your Reggie, I believe you were going to do Drago, weren't you, next? But ironically, and Boy from Belgium, if you want to, we are planning a shiny hunt race. So if you want to vote, there is a voting section in the Discord. Hopefully we can find something that everybody wants to be part of. If you want to go and see Boy from Belgium's Pain, for Shaman. It is just a Shaman that's going to cost you, isn't it? Like, it's the hardest part of shiny hunting is the soft resets. It's probably even harder to do all the streaming side of it, because the reality is when you're streaming you're not doing very much just on the soft reset. So it's also trying to make sure you're still like talking about something. They're easy like off stream, but when you're streaming them they're difficult because as I say, you're not really doing anything when you're streaming soft resets. You're just opening and closing your game, so you have to have, it almost feels like you've got to be doing something on the side, but then you don't want to miss the shiny, because if you miss the shiny it will all be for nothing. That's what I mean by it being a bit frustrating to do. Right, I don't even need to go in there. We got to do this double battle. I know it's a pain in the ass, but it's just got to be done. I want to do the breeder next to the daycare centre as well, so if I do start doing the Masuda hunts, which people are going to force me to do probably, I won't accidentally trigger the battle. That's the one trainer battle I want to do. I may have to go back and do all the boring trainer battles at some point. I know I don't need to, because we finished the game. Well, we've got the shiny charm waiting to get. So there is that. It was clever of me to bring Nebraska into this battle. I got this just for the fire gem. But then I also got jealous at like the straight afterwards, so I feel like I'm pretty good. But that's going to be part of it. I don't really know what legendaries to go for. I'm open to most things, as long as it's a bit of rotating through them. So, yeah. As I want to get the bike and I want to unlock Holbury. They're my main two goals for the story in today's stream. Then we can do like a good 2 hours of DAs. And hopefully get our first shiny in Sword and Shield. Because I don't want the female Cricketot to be my only shiny for long. That's the thing. It doesn't seem right that that's the only shiny. But we did get really far in Legends Arceus yesterday. I was quite surprised. Like, I know we have got the second map unlocked. And then with the second map we also did the Volo fight, but we didn't do the Misfortune Sisters, because that's where we're going to start. We're going to do the Misfortune Sister battle, go back and put the tapestry thing on, but we will then do a complete and utter blitz on the Obsidian Fieldlands to get as much as we can to fill up the dexes, battles, everything, just to completely level up our character before we go and deal with the Ursaluna. The Ursaluna is really easy to beat with a couple of water types, which I think we put 2 on, or we put Cherum in, which is going to be huge. And after that, the Lilligant is really easy to battle, no battling required. Then we can unlock the Coastlines, which is the one I hate, because the Arcanine frustrates me a lot. So we can go and do that storyline properly. So it's like we will be flying through, to be honest. It's quite surprising how much we can get done. Right, let's go and deal with Team Yell. Is it Team Yell? Or is that the other one? Yeah, it's Team Yell. I get confused of who's what in this game now. But the only frustrating thing is when I've done all these extra socials, you don't get to put any more than 5 on Twitch. So I will have to probably make some commands. But I don't really... I gotta get good at putting stuff on Twitch. On Twitter. Maybe I should have shared that we're live. On. Let's hope this is on mute still. No, of course it's not. And then we can go to Twitter. It's trying to remember all this stuff, like where everything else is automated. Like, I'm not doing this automated. And then make sure I put it on the right one as well. Like, again, we have like no followers, so it doesn't really matter. I doubt many people will see it. But we've just got to work on improving it all. We need... Oh, not this one. Not this one. Cancel, discard. See, that's what I mean. Can I get onto the right profile? Yes. Hope. Oh, that's why. Put that on there. And bam. Welcome back. I was just going through how annoying it is to remember to do all the socials. Nice, cheerio. I did put them all in the Discord if you do want to follow along. But I'm not forcing anyone to, because the problem with Twitter is I've got about 6 accounts and I keep forgetting all the passwords. I had one for the movie website, one for a glorified watch list, one for another challenge I was doing. I even made like a banter page once for something else, and they sort of... I keep forgetting all the passwords and everything. So I've only got 2 I remember anything for now. And I probably should have done a bit more earlier. But I didn't really know we were still going to be going 6 months down the line. Maybe 7 now. But it seems to be going well. Everyone tends to have fun here. I don't think we upset anyone. Which is the key thing. Right, can we have the bicycle, please? And I think I just got to fight Hop, and then we can unlock the next area. Yeah, I do have all of the cutscenes switched off, so we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. But yeah. There we go. We finally have the bicycle. I think Hop's here. I always forget. Yeah, it is this one. I wish you could just tell him, no, I don't want to fight you. You are not very good. But I don't think we fight him again until the 4th gym now, just before that. So it shouldn't be... Like, with our team, none of these battles are actually a problem. And next time we're in this game, we'll probably do the Holbury and Hammerlock one, but I've got to remember to get quick balls. Just because it's easier just to catch all 3 of the things, isn't it? Let's be honest, you don't want to be messing around with that bit. Corva Knight, okay. Corva Squire even, not Knight. Let's go. Bop. Down it goes. And I do think once we really get going on this, we are going to try our hardest to push ourselves to over the 3 hours a couple of times. Maybe not every time. The soft reset. Hey, he may be Faulkner in disguise, you never know. I have seen someone do the soft reset for the 3 gym fire type shinies. I forgot who it was. I think was it the Dominion or Domination, I think he's called, or something. Did them all. Like, but I think he had at least 2 switches on the go at the same. It probably is best in memory wise, because you'll think that was earned, and technically it is full odds because you won't have the shiny charm either. Obviously breeding it is probably the easiest way of doing it, but not everybody really likes breeding, including me. Hence why I've put Masuda on there as almost like a punishment type thing. There we go. Dodge the trainers, don't need to deal with them. Right, let's get some DAs going now that we have made it here. Right. Another way you're doing encounter mode, then you're going to have the worst time. Another way if you're doing encounter mode, yeah, it's like 1%, isn't it? In the first route, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, which is not very appealing to anyone. Let's be honest, we do need to go onto the internet for this. You know what, I'm just going to set up a random one to start this off, but anybody who wants to join can jump in. And we'll try and figure out what we're facing. It is strange that this sometimes takes a little bit longer, what we have to deal with. Wait, you don't have anything for me yet? What are my options? Okay, well, as I say, I'll set it up as a random because it's quite funny doing randoms. The code is now a command in the chat if anyone wants to try it. Thanks for Dragon for the suggestion. Right, it is up and ready. See, there we go. We made a command. So it is open, ready for people to join. I do need to change the symbol because I hate that symbol so much. I would like a better character icon. I keep forgetting to change it. And I had to make some notes because we forgot to nickname the Cricketot yesterday. No worries, there's plenty of time. There's still 2 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's on the online setting. You know, where you go to connect to the internet, there's an option there, I think. So yeah, after this one we can start doing what people would like to do, so mix and match it a bit. I'm not gonna, as I say, I don't want to lock in anybody. Fruity 2D is the great name, but as I said, I want to try and keep them themed to each month, so when we look back at the challenge we can say in June we were doing country nicknames, so we know which month we caught stuff in. So in July we could do sweets or something like that, which is what Fruity 2D will become. And if we get the other Cricketot, we could call it that. But it's more for memory's sake, so when we are going back through everything we've done on this challenge, we can see just what we faced and or caught. We can. It's just if we pick nicknames to and from each encounter, we'll start doubling up as well. So that's why I want to try and have monthly themes just to look back at everything, like at the end of the day, without having to go through it all. So if we were going through the decks, like even if we're at 100, we could go through them and see which month we caught everything. Are you sure you're joining, Mr. Belgium? There we are. Just as I say that, he turns up. Let's see what we get. As I did make some pages where people could suggest nickname themes. So it was always open for people to suggest foodie stuff, but I don't want it just to be like a name that can fit it, and then the next time we get something similar, we use the same nicknames. We sort of end up repeating ourselves. If we use countries once, we shouldn't ever use countries again. That's the key factor. That's what I mean by the concept behind completely themed each month. So we've got a big fire type. Right. I think like the Nidoking might be good. And then probably the water. So we'll probably just stick to the left. To the right even. And the last one, we'll just see what the rock is, I think. Because if it is Moltres or Ho-Ho, the rock will probably be better. Because the ground move on the other one is pretty bad. Remember, we've seen it before. It's not a good set of moves. If you have special moves, I'm going to use Acid Spray. So hopefully it'll work. I will probably stick with mine for as long as possible. Yes, you also have Screech. Like, it helps both out. Like, you've got the special water move and Xatu has the special psychic, so that will work. It works both ways. Miltank's a bit useless here, but it's here. I would say Boy from Belgium takes this for the Miltank, if I'm honest. Because right, with this simple beam, we'll get a big drop here. It could be Reshiram, okay. At the moment, I think we could swap me out, because if we are taking Nidoking, I think it was Seeking. They both kind of need to go Miltank and Stuntank, don't they? We don't need no tanks in the final. And then, what do we have? We would have Golduck, Seeking, Nidoking. We could keep the simple for the Screech as well. Which could be kind of fun. But that is the plan, I think. So I think, as we said, Boy from Belgium takes this for Thunder Punch and everything. Then I'll take the Seeking, and I think that will be good for the team in the final, unless we do want to go for the Rock type, because Rock is probably better than Ground against most fire types here. Because if it is one of the birds, we got the quad effectiveness, which is going to be huge. But we're going to be building a physical team, aren't we, with Seeking and Nidoking. So that makes sense in my head. Let me know if I'm going a little bit crazy with my thoughts. It's a Reshiram. Let's just see. It is very quiet. Considering it's on like level 9, it is such a quiet sound. Can we turn this up a little bit more? Let's go up a tiny bit more. Yeah, that's a bit better. You caught 3 out of 6. What 3 out of what 6? What are we on about? Yeah, Screech is the good thing to go for. I will probably just attack. Expert Power is going to be better. Oh, you've got 3 of them already. when you said that, I thought you... But you could look at it as the 3 that you do need. That's why I wanted to check the rock type. So Relicanth is better. But which one do we get rid of? That's the question. Because Relicanth is probably better than Seeking. Oh, I do know the shiny is good as well. I caught the shiny in... I fished for the shiny in X and Y. So I may as well just attack, right? Because at the end of the day, you're going to Screech and simple. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how many lives we got to what we go for, maybe. But would Seeking be better against the Relicanth anyway? Because Stuntank's not going to do anything with Acid Spray, really, is it? Like, you're going to be simple Screeching, and then we can hit it very hard with Seeking and Nidoking instead of just one thing. That's my thinking. And if this plays out right, it would probably be my Dynamax. If I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. And a big dodge. We can just keep going with the Screeching here, can't we? Missed that one. Oh dear. We should just whittle it down, right? Hopefully this finishes it off. I feel like the Screech has missed both times, but no. I mean... Okay, so it's more for you to attack than what you're saying. But then... That's what I'm guessing you mean. So you would want to get the simple and then the Acid Spray, and then if anybody else has a special move, they can do special moves. That's what we're saying. So then I won't take this then. And then Boyfriend Bertram still has the electric move. But I can help make the special attack go really badly so your Psychic can do all the damage second turn, can't it? And then I will swap into this. What we could do is try to Dynamax. Actually, if you can Dynamax the Xatu, if we're still in the battle, just to make sure Boy from Belgium gets the Dynamax in the final, that would be probably best, wouldn't it? Because there's no point doing the Golduck. We still should do Screech and Acid Spray with simple, and then we can all just attack the second turn. I think will work, won't it? Okay. Because then Nidoking could get a slightly better hit off. Are you dual hunting again, Mr. Belgium? Are you searching for your Celebes? That is the question. I don't know if a Golduck has a special attack, but it would be lovely if it did. You're not? Okay. Scale Shot. Okay, that's not the worst, I guess. Okay, it's not great. Okay, hits all 5 times because it is the computer, or 4 times. When it was us, it would only hit twice. But shouldn't it have like double weak defense now? So we should just probably... I would go for Brine this turn probably, because we're going to do a lot of damage. But how did you become the fastest one on the field? I'm so confused. There we go. That wasn't too bad. So I'm taking this. Yes, but the defense would have gone down 2 times as well, wouldn't it? That's what I mean. I meant the Golduck suddenly became fast. That's what I got confused with. Because like the first time round Golduck was slower than everybody else, and this time it was suddenly faster than everything. That's what confused me. Well, that's what I remember from the first battle anyway. So what we want to do is Simple and Screech in the final here. And me and Boy from Belgium can just start attacking. Yeah, I get Aquajet being faster, but the Screech I didn't realise was faster than like Xatu. That makes sense. Like another battle earlier, I thought you went last out of the 4 of us. That's where I got a bit confused then. Just like looking at it, why didn't you go from first to last? Like Aquajet I get, but oh no, somebody's not going to be happy. Not going to say it's somebody from Belgium. I actually got this shiny already twice. But we can still do the same thing. Like same strat. It's not a problem. I haven't caught this on this save, so I don't really care if it did turn out to be the shiny one. So that's a good thing. Maybe the parcel turned up. Leah, okay, big attack there. That's gonna probably knock us all out. You're the fastest on the team. Wait, what? You used Leah? And Screech, okay. Magic Bounce. Oh. When did Golduck suddenly become so fast? Well, it doesn't matter, we've got 3 defense drops on it. And this could one-shot it. GG everyone. Good work, good work. Let's see if this is a shiny verb. Well, I always thought Xatu was like one of the fastest things in DAs. I don't know why. Probably because you don't use it with Golduck that much, I guess. But it was good that we had a difficult one to start things off with lots of planning. It's probably, I don't think Golduck, when you look at Golduck, you don't see it as a fast Pokemon. If that makes sense. I know that the ability probably helps. Let's see. Shiny checks? No. No. First legendary of the run? Nothing. But remember, we are still at 1 in 300. So, nothing here. I forgot what we've got on the shortlist. Palkia, Suicune or Azelf. Does anybody need any of, or not need any of these? That's the question. We could do one of these, but I just don't want to pick one that somebody can. You have Palkia, so you need the other 2. The Suicune, so we could do Suicune now. It's one that not many people go out their way to do. Because it's like the tutorial, it's pretty easy. We know it's pretty easy, let's be honest. Let's go for it. And I didn't change the picture, but we'll do that next time maybe. It is up ready for you. I always thought the game designed it so you couldn't lose the tutorial, but that's because it doesn't have very good moves, does it? It has like water pulse and I don't know. I guess it depends what you get en route as well. I always thought the route was almost predetermined with the 12, but okay, fair enough. But let's see if we can get this village. I've never had one of these three beasts shiny, so it would be good to get one of them. Don't know which one. I would prefer Raikou, I'll be honest. Well, we've got a metal sounder, that'll do to start with. Not great, not great. It was the same with me on the third foot. Yeah, sometimes they can be a bit more frustrating, I'll admit that. Wow, we're getting all the worst Pokemon. So the Almado might be relatively good if we went for an electric type, but the problem is we've got a couple of water types now, so it's scary to go for the electric type. So we do have the option of ground. I guess Maractus is kind of a dream for the grass type even. Shiinotic might be fun. And I believe the Malamar has Contrary, doesn't it? So I would go this way, because this will be relatively easy to beat, right? With all of your moves. Yes, but you will 100% need to swap out the Dreadnought for the grass type. We can't take that. Okay, so maybe we don't go for the grass type then. Does Weather Ball is only fire, I guess. Fire and Hell. Electric doesn't come into it because that's the terrain more than anything else. I really don't have much for this myself, and I believe you're all physical hitters. No, one of them isn't. So maybe we go for the ice type then, just because it's easier to beat. Could be an option. We could go water resist. That also works. We've got bug moves. I've got a poison move, so I'll be quite effective against it. So there are good things. That is true. I didn't see what the ice type was, so at least we know it's a Celio. But we don't really want this either in the final then, I guess. We haven't got a nice run for the Suicune, really. There's nothing... Well, you've got the one resistance, which I imagine you're probably going to swap out the Dreadnought for, because it is still like neutral, isn't it, against water? It's a difficult one to see who we swap out here, because we're picking a physical team and I've got Metal Sound as well. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag here that's not the most helpful. I think the Crawdon's good to stay though, because it does hit like a tank. And actually the Shiinotic has Rain Dish, doesn't it? So if it does do a Max Geyser, it'll get a little bit of healing as well, which will be very nice for everybody involved. But I still think we could. This doesn't have many good moves though for the next battle. But if it doesn't have a grass move, I don't know. What would you like? Okay, yeah, we won't be using rain dance, don't worry. Like, this is... It's going to hit hard, and anger point might be quite funny. Like, the two bug moves... We got, what, 2 bug moves and a poison move, so this battle should be relatively easy. We can get this. We'll worry about the last Pokemon when we see the options. As we said, there's nothing truly great in the next selection either. It's going to be more of a war of attrition unless somebody wants to gamble. There was a gamble if we feel like it. Okay, so you happy to think Dreadnought is best to go for this or Almaldo? Which one would you prefer to swap, or just whoever's weakest? I guess that's probably the best question. Our game plan is probably Adaptability Crawdon and Thunderbolt Malamar. So we get rid of Dreadnought this round. That's what we're saying. And then Boy from Belgium takes the Malamar. Probably. Because then I can Metal Sound for the Malamar to get Thunder Bolt stronger in the final. And this could do some healing. You'll take the Shinotic, so you're the Dreadnought, aren't you? Yes. No, I won't do anything to it because I'll probably go for the Dark move. And that goes for whoever is going to Dynamax against the Malamar. Don't use anything that decreases its stats. But the slightly broken thing could have been that we could have used Swagger on it, which would have been quite funny if we had planned a little bit further ahead. But I guess it's a special attacker anyway. Right. That would have been an interesting one. But I think with the bug moves and the night, not the dark moves, we should be okay against Malamar, shouldn't we? Yeah, and confuse it, which would have been even funnier. That was planning too far ahead, I guess. This would be a great second shiny for this challenge. Like, there's one we've sort of been hunting low-key for ages, but without actually going to hunt more lols. But it's like the DA like #1 target that is not a legendary. Yes, we got the bug moves on the Almaldo, but I only have dark moves, sadly. And of course we've got Moonblast as well. But the problem is the Dynamax bug move is the wrong type of move. That's the problem. Because it will try to lower its special attack, which will obviously... The Witch move will increase special defense. The bug move... the ground move increases our special defense, yes. But the bug move, the dark move will try to lower its... It will increase its special defense if we use it. Which is the problem. While the obvious option is something like using Max Quake if we're going to do it. But I don't need to Dynamax in the final. So we can leave it for now. Nothing's really going to change too much of what we're going to be dealing with here. But if we do Dynamax, we can't go for the Flutterby move. think Mr. Belgium's got lost again. He's disconnected on his Pokemon Go journey. There he is. There he is. He's back. He's returned from the Nether Realm. Oh, that's not good. Don't want to see Topsy-Turvy used on you. Okay. I guess it was a hard decision. Yeah, so that's a thing that happened. Because you're going to take this, as we said. Do we want the Crawdont to Dynamax in the final? Probably. Because it can just start spamming the Dark move for special defense drop as well. And then that means Thunderbolt will do a lot more damage in the final. That would probably be the best option, I'd imagine. We want Crawdont to get stronger, okay. I was just thinking if we could get 4 defense drops and then Thunderbolt from this. That could have worked, but... Is that how adaptability works with Swords Dance? It just makes you even stronger. Want any more than risk a stat reset? Okay, no problems. I still think Boy from Belgium should swap here. Oh, for me, I know I'm paralysed, but you have a weakness to the water moves, and you have the electric move, so at least we're fully health, just paralysed. We have 3 lives. Let's beat up this beastie. Let's go for it. Dun da da. Again, it is open to anyone else who would like to make a suggestion for the next one. I'm not like saying we can only use certain ones. I'm happy for everything to have a go. Okay, so it may just be the 3 of us. Or do I bring out the other switch? That is the question. Do we go for 2 players and destroy my concentration even more? Liquidation. Okay, I can take hits. Paralyze, please. You're just going to make it hit less hard, okay. Well, at least I didn't get hit with Paralyze. I might as well just do another one. Because I don't think we're going to do much damage this turn, are we? But I guess that the Crawdont will go for what? Lash out, maybe? Oh, we get a boost ourselves. Nice. And the Paralyze. Revenge. That's a crit. Lovely. Lash out might not be as helpful next turn. It just depends what it does, I think. But it is up to you, really. I might as well just go for a hit this time. I also looked at Lash Out, it does more damage after we've been hit, I believe. I guess it's like powerful assurance, isn't it? So that's obviously something good to have on the team. But we're relying on Malamar to do all the work here. Pretty much most of the work. Let's see. Do we get our hit before it gets desperate? Yes, we do. And lovely. Lovely. Good luck, everybody. And hopefully, or we can get a shiny. Well, 3 of us can get a shiny. One of us has got too many. If it's just 3 of us, maybe we could just do as Elf, because it's an easy one to do and I don't need the other switch ready. Now he say, oh, unless he gets the shinies here and it makes Shaman go on for another week. What's the total you're going to start to give up on the Shaman, Mr. Belgium? Are you going to go 6,000, 8,000, go, I'm not doing any more? No on the Crocodile, no on the Shinotic, no on the Malamar, and no on the Suicune. You were never going to give up, okay. Or stop doing it sort of on a stream if you got too many, if that makes sense. You just sort of like, you know what, I just want to do this without having to concentrate. Right, we'll go and do as Elf because we know it's pretty easy with 3 people. Apart from that time we lost. Right, up, and I didn't change the picture again. Thank you for the luck, and thank you for coming along for the journey. Hopefully, we'll see you in a little while. You might see us here doing more. Oh, welcome in. Yendis, how are you doing? We are at the beginning of the Switch to Shiny Living Form Pokedex challenge. We've got 1 shiny in 5 days. So we're doing DAs today. So if you want to jump in and join in as Elf, you're more than welcome. And the idea is to have fresh profiles to do the Shiny Living Dex, not just use the ones where I've got all the stuff saved up. So that's why we're sort of where we are with what we're doing. We're a long way behind. So we've pretty much got a team that we can speedrun this game. Violet is as good as finished, and we started Legends Arceus yesterday. So, and that's already unlocked the 2nd area, which is very nice. So yeah, if you do want to jump in and join us, let us know and we'll wait for you. If not, we will start with just the 3 of us. It's not a problem if you just want to watch along. But we might try that Blacephalon the next one, because I know the 3 of us need that. And it'll be a good one to do when, if ironically does come back, when he can't do. So I will start this on the minute mark. And then we can go for things that are needed by others. And that might include something that he needs to. Okay, so we'll go with just the 3 of us then. But the goal is to get a... Well, I think my total is 1,397 to catch. This would be good against a bug type, right? Yeah, we don't have a nice selection. At least the Nidoqueen will be weak too. That's a little bit annoying. Let's be honest. Like, will the Capulla take the Drifter? No, but it'll take the even worse option. Okay. So I see a Ghost. That could be a good start. But after that, we do have Charger Bug though. Charger Bug, Teapot, Gamble, and then the Shark at the end. Why not? Yeah. Let's do Charger Bug. Everybody likes Charger Bug, right? Ghost Water? No, Charger Bug. He's like, why did you pick Charger Bug? Why do you want the Charger Bug for? I'm not quite sure which one of us swaps into the charger bug. That's the next question. Actually, Rock Blast might actually be better this way than Dynamaxing because I get more hits. I would imagine maybe the Gloom goes into this. Because it's going to be a little bit weak with the poison typing against the Psychic, I guess. Obviously the dream situation is the combustion goes as well. I think I will probably go for the gamble, to be honest. Because we don't want to let the computer take this, because it will... Well, if we're going to gamble, it's not so bad, I guess, if the computer wants it. That does work in our favour, if the computer wants it, because I will gamble before the shark at the end. So one of you will take the teapot, which I think will probably be Nido Queen, if we're honest. You can do poison attacks, yes, but you're going to be weak to the psychic, aren't you? That's the problem. We don't really want to go in with a weakness. We want to try and get rid of as many weaknesses as we can. Like, this team is a pretty horrible one for the final. Like, even though we've got Nido Queen with Shadow Ball, it's still incredibly weak to a psychic move. But let's see what the computer wants to do then. Yeah, you can take the shark, so Nido Queen probably should take this then. But he doesn't want it because he doesn't want Charger Bug. It doesn't have much that helps in the final really, but it'll help special attacks. That's pretty much its job, to use Eerie Impulse. But as we say, I'll probably... We'll see what the computer wants to do. If the computer wants this, let them have it. But I think the other thing is it could be relatively good for you, Dragon, because it has a grass move. But then I could take it for the grass move. Well, to the shiny destination. I've already got a shiny teapot. It's just I don't know how to figure out which one's the masterpiece. Or the master one, whatever it's called. The good one. Probably the best way to word it. I'm probably going to make it very, very weak now. So, you're welcome. Okay, you have lots of good moves for the next battle. It's just trying to figure out how to get rid of the combustion, really, isn't it? That's the challenge we've got. Unless I do take this and then hope the computer gambles, maybe that could work. Because the fighting move will be good against the shark too, compared to what I've got. And I will have the grass move. So suddenly I have a couple of moves that could work really well. So I'll take the teapot then. Now I'm making it very fast, but I should be making it very weak as well. That's the thing. It doesn't seem to be working that way, but it should be getting weaker. But we'll see. Nope. Okay. Let's see, what do you two get to hit with? Spark? Say who said Charger Bug was bad. Do we get a big Venom shock or finish it off? Not quite. Not quite. Okay, I've died to poison. Lovely. So yeah. I'll take this and we'll play that the computer will trade. Then. The other side of it is if the computer does take it, it may gamble itself. I think it'd be better if we're in control of the teapot. So that's why I'll take it. I'm not any good in the next battle anyway, so I was going to gamble. But instead of me gamble, I have something that I can use in the next 2 battles. So it makes more sense for me to take it. And the computer didn't want it, so that's worked out nicely. Now we see whether they are smart enough. I think that could be... No, we don't want to go near the steel type. Nobody's interested. I was always going to keep the Poltergeist, don't worry. It was more... because we should beat this relatively easy, to be honest. It hits quite hard, but with our big... Well, I will probably just go for full-blown grass attacks all out from everyone. And then the gloom will become this. Yes. I will also Dynamax, which means you can Dynamax in the final with the shark, hopefully. So I believe you're player 2. And that means we can get extra defense drops or special defense drops when you go for the max dark move. It might not help me as much because my dark move is physical, but it's what we're going to have to deal with. We have to work around what we have. Charger Bug will probably Eerie Impulse. Thanks, computer. Let's help attack. So that the Feather Dart could work in the final, I guess, too, but it has like no health. And we know this is made of plastic. But it's only part of a shark. Good old Charger Bug, doing the business. Big Moonblast, easy dubs. Easy dubs, right. Whole team destroyed it in 1. Da 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 da. Boom. We had it. We caught it. We knew we would. It was everything we always said it would be. An easy catch. Da 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 da. Right. We said that Dragon was going to take this. We have to just deal with the fact that a computer is bad. Like, there's not much we can do. We gave it plenty of chances to swap and it didn't want to. You shouldn't have picked it to start with. It's its own fault. Now it could work, because like, you're going to do max darkness. If it does decide to spam Fire Pledge, it will work in our favour. Otherwise, Arthur, put your sword back in the stone. Okay. What does this actually do? Okay. I'm gonna just start Giga Draining, to be honest. Because if it doesn't attack, my Sucker Punch is useless. But if you're doing this, we should lower it to, what, 3 times or 6 times? I can never remember. At least I can't get hit by Swift as well. That's a positive thing. Psychic on me, I can take that. Of course, I got a lowered defense myself. Big hit there. But I'm going to use Giga Drain, so I might get all my health back. Or a little bit of it back. Go, Combustion. Do we get a turn? I get a little bit back. I think Swift's its desperation move, isn't it? And the bug. And the bug's here. Let's see. Well, I think the Combustion is definitely going to die. Combustion did more damage than me, sadly. But I don't think we need to worry, because this will finish it off. So that's a GG. Good luck, everyone. Let's see if one of us can get a shiny. And then we can do Blacephalon, I think. We might as well do one. Combustion, it's the same thing. Tomato, tomato. It's because most middle evolutions are largely forgettable. That's probably why. You got through that cutscene very quickly there, Dragon. I feel like I missed half of it. But let's see. Charger Bug is not shiny, because that's like bright red. Polyeist, I couldn't tell you. This is definitely not. And neither is that. No. Oh, we already have Azelf. I wouldn't have done Azelf if you already said you had it. Sorry. We could have gone for one of the Uxie one. We'll keep it because I'm not doing any of these on my own. I don't really know why I'm keeping the easy ones. I shouldn't keep the easy ones, really. I should keep the difficult ones. So when this is ready, let us know, Dragon, for Blacephalon, and we'll jump in. We can do that one next. We can do Uxie after Blacephalon. It's not a problem. And I didn't change the picture again. I'm going to say that every time, aren't I? I imagine it's just going to be the three of us. I haven't seen anyone else come in who wants to. It's a very usual suspects day today, shall we say. Right. Well, Blacephalon and Drapion are not bad to start things off. Passimian. We got Dreadnought. Yeah, we'll go Dreadnought. And a Scolipede. Like, on paper, this team could probably win on its own, couldn't it? We don't really want to swap into anything at the moment. So we've got to pick things that are easy. That is an Alolan. Maybe we go left. Build some water teams up, but then we've got to go through that. So we're going to have to go right. Okay. It was more that I was kind of scared of all the water types at the end. So we'll have to go ground. It's not a problem. I was reading chat. That's my excuse. Because we don't really want this in the final. That's a fact. This is pretty bad. So what do we have that can do any move? Rock Slide. Okay. Let's see how this little session goes. Water, ground, electric. Okay. Well, so we could swap out. No, because we don't want to take. Well, we want the ground, whatever. This has a rock move. Drapion sticking, whatever. So we only really want the Scolipede to swap. Really. But as we said, the last three battles are quite difficult because of our typings. That is the one little problem we have. Wow, that did more than I thought it would. Uh-oh, that's gonna hurt somebody, but I don't know who. The Scolipede? Okay. Yeah, so the ground type is not actually good for the last battle, from what I've seen, because I think it's the Alolan Dug Trio. And if it is the Alolan Dug Trio, that's not good. Just that. But we could use it to beat the electric type, I guess. But overall, it's quite a mixed bag team. There is also Seadra, but the problem is we have 2 electric and a grass at the top. So even if we get Seadra, we've got to get through with quite weak water types. That's why I was thinking going the other way. Because we have quite a lot of weaknesses in that last round if we get water. If we get the ground, it can at least be good against the electric. But if it's normal Dug Trio, it's fine. But if it's the Alolan one, it's not so good. But the Drapion's perfect for the final. That's the thing. Yeah, so it's the Alolan Dug Trio, which is a little bit annoying. So what have we got? We got Garvantula, so that's bad, whatever. What's the middle one? The middle one is Pinchurch, so that could work, because that does have Scald. At least. Or Hydro Pump, one of the two. Definitely has a water move. So that, I guess that's best, because I know we don't really want to go near the Grovar with the Dreadnought, but we could go with it if we've still got the rest of the team. But I imagine if the computer takes this, we go for Pinchurch, and if the computer doesn't take this, we could probably go for the Grovar. So that could be just to get through it quickly, because us 3 are fine for the final. There's literally no worries whatsoever. But we have a lot more strengths against the grass typing with your flying poison. I've got bug. The computer's got poison and bug. So there is that. Let your focus ash used up. What was that? Makes me stronger, I hope. Nope, just defense. 13 HP. And it survived. Of course it survived. Anybody have a priority move? That's the question, I guess. But it's a relatively... That's annoying. That's going to knock that out, isn't it? We probably could have beaten this in one if we got a bit luckier. So I guess we are going to be looking at whatever the computer does as our pick for the last Pokemon. Yes, I get it. I get it. It's difficult now that we've lost that life, which we didn't need to lose. Because now we've just got nothing that's going to be great against the electric type. Like, yeah, it's a frustrating one, I think. I just think the Growfile's the easiest to get through, but if the computer takes this, because this is rubbish in the final, in the computer's hands. That's the problem. But then we do get a Screech, which could help quite a lot with Razor Shell, Rock Tomb, Rock Slide. So we're gonna go for this then, because obviously that's a bug type as well, which is very weak. So you're going to be Screeching, are you? Hopefully you can get yourself an extra good item. And then a final. Maybe you get a Focus Sash, we never know. Because it will probably target the Dug Trio with a fire move, won't it? That makes the most sense. But for now, we'll just get through this battle and see where we are. Like, we can do it. We've done harder battles in the past. We should be fine. As I know, we just don't like Beast Boost really setting up, do we? That's the main thing that's kind of scary. Might as well just use this. If you can Dynamax Mr. Belgium, it would be amazing, because then I can do the water move in the final to really make it weak on the fire moves. Uh-oh. This Scolipede is really going to cause us problems, isn't it? Okay. Of the things that I thought was going to be the problem in this battle, that was not the one I'd put first on the list. I'll be honest. Let's finish it. Let's get it destroyed. Oh, we got the Pincurchin. This is one of the simplest touches on a shiny. It is a good shiny, but it's a very simple change. I guess we let the computer take this, and then, as we say, you can Screech, and then I can max Geyser. If Dragon will probably go for Rock Tomb. At least we might slower the Blacephalon down a little bit. And if the computer wants it, the computer wants this. And they do. So it's an interesting one. At least it's got rid of its bug weakness or fire weakness. But we have 2 lives for this battle. Let's see how we do. I think we can win it. We should be able to win it, but 1 hit and it's going to get that big boost, so... They could, maybe. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Wait, why is it not my Dynamax? I thought it was my turn. Something's gone wrong in the ordering system. Oh, that's not good. Hello Taco, how are you doing? We are trying to beat a big dancing clown. Better known as Blando Norris. Now, we have our team together. How are things though? Is it a Knight's Tale today? You're ill and at work. That's no good. I thought the point was not to be at work when you were ill. Now that's the design. What I really think you're doing is planning out the F1 fantasy so you can get like 500 points ahead and then not turn it on again. That's what it really is. We've got to change the picture. We have to change the picture. Oh, I know how frustrating it can be. I don't think you need to do anything, just pick. As we were saying in KBDs, there's no point copying you because you're never going to catch up. That's the problem. GG everyone. Good luck with the shiny. Which is the problem with fantasy football as well. You can't just pick what the person in first has because you'll never catch up. You have to have an alternative team. And otherwise it's pointless because you're always going to be about 600 odd points behind. If I put McLaren as my constructor, there's no point doing it because I need McLaren to have a bad weekend. Maybe I stand a chance. But let's see, do we have these mythical shinies? That might be, but I don't think so. No. Nope. Nope. And nope. No dancing clown. Oh, we don't want to keep the easy ones. That is silly. We keep the easy ones. Yeah. No shinies for everyone. Wow, we're really struggling today. So do you want to set up Yuxi, boy from Belgium? I will see what the dancing lady has. Cresselia, we won't do that one. And you know what? I want to change this picture because it's annoying me. What picture? Like, what is this? Shall we have the dancing rapper that Taco likes to watch? What do we have? I haven't really ever looked. Let's be a toxic character. Yeah, that'll do. So I think it'll probably be the three of us again if we are going to do Yuxi. I'll probably be player 3 again, which is fine. We can do it. We can do it. We can win. We know we can. Let's get to it. But we are still happy we've got one shiny on the list. That's the key thing. Having one makes it feel like we haven't wasted a week setting these saves up. There could be a good chance to get one or two tomorrow. Dragon's changed his profile too. He was watching how I did it. No worries. I was just saying this. When it comes to the fantasy Formula 1, there's no point copying you because you're never going to catch you. That's the reality of it. I have to pick 2 different constructors and potentially 5 different drivers if I'm ever going to catch you in first. If I just slap in McLaren, what's the point? I'm going to always be the same points behind you because we're always getting the same points. That's the frustrating thing with fantasy football, fantasy Formula 1 and all those modes. Yeah. Welcome in, Sparkling Brie, or Brie, whichever you prefer to be called. Let me know. I know you're from Nil. What did we pick? Yuxi, wasn't it? I've forgotten already. But we are doing DAs, so if you would like to jump in and join, you're more than welcome. I could sabotage the whole run by just putting in Alonso and the other person on negative points. I know there's like 2 people on negative points still. What was it? That. Okay. What is good here? I guess we could just go for something easy to beat. Oh, there is a ghost there, I guess. I was looking at the points totals and I don't quite get how McLaren have that many points. It's just, it feels a bit broken, the system. Like, they haven't quite understood how fantasy drafting works in the F1 model. I think they should scrap the constructors and just make you pick like 7 drivers. That would be a lot more interesting, because the constructors is almost like as you said to others, like you pick the 2 best teams and you just fill up what you can with drivers, and that's all you can really do. So that's how I think. That's how I hate fantasy football. It's like as soon as you're behind, you're done. So, and that's the other side. You get more for the constructor, so it's so broken. I could say it's bitter, but I have been going up the table every week. But it would be more fun, I think, if you had to pick just the drivers. But we'll see. Like, Canada is a very chaotic race. Anybody can win that one normally. That's kind of what we've done. Picked McLaren and Pistorius, because Lando's too expensive. It's picking the others around it. Like, I've gone aggressive with Max, and I've actually dumped Antonelli for Hamilton, because he usually qualifies really badly but races really well, so he gets the overtake points. That's the other way I look at it. Did anybody get attacked? No, we'll just pedal dance then. But who is your favourite driver, Brie? Or team, shall we say, that we follow? I never see it as gambling, because it's free to play. I would only say it's gambling is if, like the league that me and Taco are in, if KBD had said we have to put £5 on to play, that's gambling. But because we're doing it for take the piss out of KBD for beating him, that's pretty much the reward. That's kind of... That's how it is. He said he was going to win with ease as well. And I think you've got double his points total at the moment. I don't quite get why Formula 1 is as big as it was. It just feels very mundane nowadays for me. I'm not going to take this. I'm still surprised he hasn't retired already. I want them to do, like, the way I would love to see Formula 1 do something, and it'll change the system, is you have 2 established drivers, shall we call them that, and then after that you have to have 1 rookie, and they're only allowed to drive for you for 1 season and 1 season only, and they either become an established driver or they don't get a seat the next season, and every year has 10 to 12 rookies on the grid. And that would make it really interesting, because I feel that a lot of it is, I'm just going to cross the line and come in the top 4 and I will get this many points and that'll do. Oh no. Well, most of us are more Max if we're going to pick a driver. We don't like Lando, even though he's British. He's too... I didn't even like him when he was racing lower down the grid. He kind of annoyed me a lot. He's a bit too arrogant that he's there. Never seems to be grateful that he's in Formula 1. Compared to like Russell. We all want this one shiny, except for Boy from Belgium. I like the idea of the drivers who start at bad teams and earn their stripes. That's the thing for me. Which is why I've not ever really been a Hamilton fan, because he got put in a fast car from day one. It's why I like Alonso, I like Vettel, I like Albon. Even Max had to go to the backup team to start with. That's like the way, like. But then the other side of it is, I'm very frustrated there's 3 American races this year, or next year. Because the Austin one is dreadful. Vegas was a bit boring. I can't remember if Miami was this year or it's new. But I know the Austin one is really boring. And it's usually, and there's a lot of European tracks that get completely ignored. So I still want them to bring back the French Grand Prix. I like the 2 German tracks though. I know it's just that I don't want a country having 2, but I don't mind them. But I get it, rotating it is good. And at least next year they have the good system. They're actually doing the energy saving Green Planet thing, where they're going round the world instead of this year where they're still doing, here's 5 races in Europe, off to Canada, here's 4 more races in Europe. They're doing Europe in one stint next year, which is good. Just winds you up that Lando says the car isn't great. Bro, you won 30 seconds above the other cars in one race. Yeah, pretty much. I'm good. You could probably take it for the ghost type, if for the Poltergeist if you want, or see if the computer wants it, maybe. Because they're the 2 that probably need swapping most. Because I've got Pollen Puff, so I can do a bit of healing as well. Yeah, that is the Lando that we know. He's very much, it's my team. I think Lando thinks he's the #1 driver at McLaren, and I think it's been made pretty clear that there isn't a #1. It's whoever is first. So we could actually take this Orangaroo and maybe do some shenanigans if we want to. Yeah, I think we could do some shenanigans. We all think Ferrari are clowns at the moment. It's funny watching them. It's funny watching Hamilton have the arguments in public as well. Like, part of me wishes the radios were on all the time, when I know they probably is a way to do it, but that's the kind of thing. We just want to see the chaos. You can do if you think it works. I think we could work with it, to be honest. But Sky have blocked it in the UK. That sounds about right. Talking of that, we have got, no, we haven't got it on here, so we can't do the sponsor. We can do the sponsor on the website. I was going to see whether this will be for you as well, Toko. If you actually watch the Champions League and don't have TNT, or whatever it's called nowadays, theoretically, the Champions League is on Paramount Plus in America. So if you had a VPN, you could watch it legally through Sky. That's how I read it. But I generally watch it in fast forward nowadays. At least Canada is an evening race, but as long as it's not like 2 days long like it was when Button won. There are ways around it, and yes, I do know them, but I used to watch a lot of football on Twitter. Strange, of all of the places. Twitter used to always have accounts streaming it about a minute behind. They would go off every 30 minutes, but they would always work. Yes, we know you can't. I just don't like going to proper websites to do it, because it's so iffy. Some of them play up so badly. But technically with a VPN, if you have Sky, or Sky Q or above, you have a free subscription to Paramount Plus. So if you get a VPN, which is 100% legal, you could just say that you're in America and watch the Champions League on Paramount Plus. Which is very interesting to think about when you look at how the system is designed. So that's the way I look at it. It's just very frustrating that we're in a country where you have to pay, if you're doing everything legally, and you want to watch it on the television, you have to pay something like £100 a month to watch your team play football with a TV license, a Sky package, and a TNT package. If they're in Europe, like the Man U fans are fine this year, they don't have to worry about that. But the teams in the Champions League, you know, the people who are the best teams in the league, will be playing Tuesday and Wednesday nights live on TNT. Yeah, I'm very against the number of subscription services now. Sorry, it's 16th best. 17th is even better. Because technically, you can't be worse next season. But the trophy in the cabinet looks nice. Let's put it that way. It's all about the trophies, right? But that's what I mean. Like, it's frustrating. Like you have Disney, which yes is only a £5, I think, at the cheapest one. Couple of ads, fine. Prime, and at least you get a delivery service. And what else do you get? Apple TV. I've had the free weekend. That's the only time I've watched it, because it's like £8-9. Netflix I watch the most because there's a lot on Netflix for film wise, but then Netflix is also reaching that level where it could become a problem because it has live sport on now, so now technically you need a TV license to watch Netflix if you watch it on a telly, and it's horrendous. I just don't get why, and that's why nobody is really talking about the television shows anymore. There's a few people that have a little conversation, but the hype that you had 15-20 years ago for shows was so big, but everything is dead. And Netflix is the only one I pay to get rid of the ads. It depends like how much you watch though, Boy from Belgium, really. I don't know how the model works over there. Like, we're actually a little bit luckier in the UK because Hulu is pretty much Disney, Warner Brothers is basically Sky. They all get added together over here, so that is good for us. But in America it's even worse. And then you go into gaming as well, like Xbox is one subscription, PlayStation this, like, on paper all I want to do is play with people online. I should not have to pay for that. If I want to enter competitions, buy stuff, yes, but free online gaming should be part of the package. It was on the PS3, put it that way, but now it's all money, money, money. Everything's greedy. But that's a lot. But again, you say before that you like Marvel, you like Star Wars, so Disney is perfect for what you like to watch. If they're the main things you like to watch. Again, that's not technically legal stuff, but different countries like have different ways that things get released. And the counter argument of it all is every time somebody watches it, downloads it, whatever, illegally, it's taking money out of the people who are not the big stars of the show, but the people who are doing the stuff behind the scenes that are working paycheck to paycheck. Yes, so GG everyone, good luck. This has definitely gone funky colours again today. No, okay, nothing today. But it was a perfect run. That's the key thing. No shinies? Okay. Shall we go back to the doggo then? Or the sort of doggo? I just deleted the doggo for Uxie, didn't I? Okay. What do you have? Ho-ho? Well, we can't do ho-ho. maybe we'll try Palkia. We know how difficult this one was. Why not try it? Yeah, so the way, I don't know how much of that boy from Belgium had, but my point is, the more that people use other means to watch stuff, the more you're putting people out behind the scenes on films and TV and everything. And the more it's done, like the big A-list stars are still going to get their silly salaries for doing very little. And everyone else is going to pay the consequences. It's the people who put all the hard work in are only getting paid hourly and or smaller contracts, and they're the people that need the support, and that's why you should pay to watch stuff, not go to the questionable locations. Yes, it does add up, and it is frustrating. I will say I'm very pissed off that I can't watch the animated Predator movie. It should have been in the cinema. There are a lot of things I am missing that I really wish I could watch. Like there's so much that's gone through Apple that I would have watched, but I just can't justify paying for Apple for one movie a month. Because they don't really release that much. So I guess it's just the three of us will be good, I think. We can handle. Now Palkia is difficult. We sort of clutched it last time, didn't we? So let's start with an electric type. So that's like how you should be looking at it, really. And it's the same with gaming as well. Like, but then we see how the studios just get rid of people after they make a game, like just to build in a new team that are cheaper to pay, cheaper to get everything done, and then the fans don't like the game. So it's a horrible sort of rotation, really, isn't it? We do have an Oranguru, but we should probably go for the Mianfu, just because it has wide guard, but we're very weak to it, annoyingly. Yes, we're going to have to go for this, really, just for our own security, really. It's going to hurt. This battle's going to hurt a lot. But then the other side is Amazon Prime are giving out tickets to watch Superman 3 days before the cinema release at home on the television. So Superman will be on the questionable websites before it is released in the cinema. That's horrendous to think. It's meant to be a big movie. Probably the biggest of the summer, you could argue. And it's just being dumped on the telly. Is pretty much. That's horrendous, really. That's such a bad decision. And I just don't get why they would do it, to be honest. And it's only an American exclusive thing as well. I just can't believe they're that stupid. I could understand 2 weeks after it's been released, maybe do that, so you can get it at Prime home. But it's just crazy to think that they think that's a smart play. But then that's Hollywood now, isn't it? Yes, you can look at it as in what you've saved, but technically that's not how the system should be working. It's not about how much you save, it's about how much. Again, it's a system that's very flawed because you're actually causing problems in the industry by doing it. It's not because you're the only one doing it, everybody's doing it, and that's what I mean. It sort of does more damage than you realise at the end of the day. And I'm not saying a Marvel movie's going to struggle because you watched it at home. I'm talking about all the individual creative people that are struggling to get things made. That's what I mean by it. Like, I go to the cinema once a week. I pay £20 a month to go to the cinema. I don't buy food and drink at the cinema. Or I might buy a coffee. If not, I'll take a bottle of water. I don't eat for movies. That's how I save money with the cinema. So that works for me. I guess one of you two should be taking this though. But I don't mind which one of you. It's that's because that's more ads. Yeah, that's the other side of it. Because they need to pay for the big bucks. Like there's an example of one called The Electric State, I think it was called. I don't know. It was something on Netflix by the guys who actually directed Endgame and Infinity War. It had Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, and it was meant to have cost 300 plus million. And it was one of the most average, forgettable movies you're ever going to see. But it got dumped on Netflix. And I don't get why Netflix needs to spend 300 million on something that they're not even going to advertise. That's the other side of it. The streaming services don't advertise at all. That's also terrible. Yeah, it was that robot movie. The books are meant to be really good, I believe, but it was just the money it cost to make, the money... Exactly, that's 300 million, and I bet a good third of that went to paying just Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown and the directors. All three are not that good to be worth 25 million-ish each. Like, forget Stranger Things. Good for the first couple of seasons, but generally she's just a bit weird. Chris Pratt is not a draw. He has never been a draw as a lead actor. Like when Guardians does well, it's not because of him, it's because the rest of the cast, the Groots, the Rockets, they're the fun stuff. When he does solo movies, they generally struggle to break even. The Russos have done nothing since the Avengers, and then just decide to bring back the cast for the next movie. We don't really have good options though, do we here? I guess we could risk Cray Dilly. I guess that could be one of the options. But, and that's perfect example. He's a sitcom star. He's the modern day Ted Danson. Let's put it that way. Is that fair to call him the modern day Ted Danson? But like when they did like the weird movie Passengers, where it was completely shot in the wrong way round and he was the good guy despite waking someone up. He's the guy in Cheers, basically. He was in Cheers, and I think it's called like The Good Life on Netflix. But basically he's been like a lead in sitcoms since the mid-80s till this year, or he still just is so good at all the sitcom stuff. Good comic timing, but they tried putting him in a movie. Didn't really work. He was in Three Men and a Baby, if that helps. But he's actually in Saving Private Ryan, but he never really jumped. It's a bit like what Matt LeBlanc was to Friends. Like, couldn't make anything of himself after Friends, despite everyone kind of loving him. Same with like Matt Perry. Didn't really go very far after Friends. Like, that's the thing. Sitcoms tend to ruin careers quite often because people just get typecast. There's so many, like even like Kelsey Grammer never really recovered after Frasier, but he has been playing Frasier for longer than I've been alive. So and that's just like the industry though now. Like the F1 movie that I'm sure you're going to hate had a big budget because of them having to reshoot it all to make it more interesting. it doesn't need the budget it probably is going to have, and it doesn't matter how good or bad that movie's going to be. Well, I wouldn't be as harsh as say he's dull. It's just because you're expecting Joey. I think that's probably. I think that's the biggest problem with him. You're almost like, go and be Joey, go and be Joey. Just like it doesn't work. Yeah, David Schwimmer is actually the most financially successful Friends cast member of all the Strange Things to come out of Friends, and it's probably the last person you would ever pick out of the 6 of them. At one stage, I think Matt LeBlanc had never made a single dollar at the box office. Jennifer Aniston has loads of movies, granted, so that's what everyone thinks, but David Schwimmer did Madagascar, and Madagascar made money. So that's why it's always David Schwimmer as number 1 as money. So that's why it's him. It's a horrible stat because Jennifer Aniston has worked harder, 100%. That's not a questionable factor of it. But David Schwimmer also does some directing as well, so he gets a bit more praise that you don't always see on the front cover. Shall we just go for the bug because it's easy to beat? No, not easy to beat. But we're gonna have to. So who are the others? Like Lisa Kudrow's done good at being a solid support actress, like generally, and obviously Courtney Cox had the Scream franchise behind her, so she always is gonna make money. She's probably got a ton of residuals from Scream, and obviously the sequels. Well, it depends. Are you going to watch the comedy show tonight? Because you could have the big dinner and watch it. Shall we all have bets on whether he'll go out in the first couple of rounds? I probably want to get back round to it. It depends how far you would have to go for lunch, I think is the best way to put it. If you're in a city, then I would go and get lunch. And then maybe get takeaway so you can watch the comedy tonight. But it's always about where you are. But it also gets you out of the building. That's the other way of looking at it. Or wherever you are, which is the key thing you want to do when you need a break. Ephraim from Emmerdale, it's an older character, but actor Liam O'Brien has pretty much only done VE in his career. Fair enough. It is interesting to discover soap stars that have done a lot more with their careers. Like, generally speaking, the British soap stars really struggle to break out of it. The Aussie ones are the best for it normally. Like, you just look at the Hemsworth siblings and Margot Robbie and stuff like that. It just always feels like it's a disconnect with being able to break out from Neighbours or Home and Away to EastEnders or Coronation Street. You're doomed for the rest of your career. They all try it, but they all sort of stumble through. But then I guess that's because, unless you're very posh, I find most British actors don't really go very far, because they're always good posh villains. We like a good posh, horrible villain. Mr. Rickman was the best, probably. But I don't know, it's a weird one, like, seeing where everybody comes from. Welcome in, Neil. We are doing okay for now. Let's be honest, we've won them all. No shinies. How is the train? Jennifer Coleman went into Doctor Who after a departure from Jasmine. Okay. I kind of put Doctor Who in the same bracket as EastEnders, as it's there. For what that should be, I think Doctor Who is actually quite bad. I think the special effects are usually pretty dreadful for the fact it should be the biggest budget show on the BBC. It's an expectation level, I think, from my point of view, but for me it looks like something sci-fi knocked out. We're having some movie rants and about subscriptions and the frustration of how bad subscriptions are and why Chris Pratt is considered an A-list actor. So I think it's going well. So I imagine Boy from Belgium might want this just for health, but I don't know. It's up to him, because it's going to be a slug, this battle. We're facing Palkia, but we have a wide guarder this time. But if you are back and you do want to join, there is a space. And your one of your friends was in earlier. I don't know if they're still here. But we had a little rant about Formula 1. That was fun. We like having a rant about Formula 1. Did we get to do a random draw? Not yet, no. Now, that vote in the Discord is actually for something I'm going to do in a couple of weeks. Not yet, sort of thing. So, like, I wanted to see what people think would be best. The random draw is still a points redemption thing. That's the main thing. Now, I'll announce when it is. It's probably the last Saturday of the month. But I just wanted to see what people would want to do for it, because I give myself 2 weeks to get through at least 3 games. Again, I don't really mind not having the shiny charm in Legends Arceus and Scarlet. This I will have it, because I've only got a couple of gyms to beat. I've put everything in already. So that's kind of the main reason why I picked 2 weeks' time. Like, I should have all the maps unlocked. Like, I imagine we'll be a good chunk of the way through Legends Arceus. Well, welcome in, Alk. How are you doing? See, I find out that I've been pronouncing it wrong as well. But I just thought I'd put the vote out to see if people would prefer a certain game or a certain style rather than just me going, I'm doing it in this game. Because I would like to try and do one a month with everybody. So, yeah. But I'm looking for... Are you actually starting a new run today? Or is it tomorrow you're going to do it? Because as we said, it will be fun to watch it from the start. There's been plenty of discussions. I only suggested keeping them as sort of like a giveaway because it would be quite fun to go... like, the idea would be you should just give Lebozo the Pidgeotto. It's like, this is what you did to me. That would be quite funny. But I know there's only like 7, but you could imagine having a little selection of home of all of the ones that didn't make it and then ones that did, and you could almost compare it and see who dies the most as well at certain stages, like, which would also be quite funny. It doesn't want to use Surf this time, does it? Which is really annoying. It's just decided it hates us. Yes. It's not a problem. I actually started doing it in my Forever Lock. I started either recording what it was or saving everything that had died as well as what had made it. But because I did a reset, I've had so many that they're all dumped in an old save file at the moment, all of my box stuff. Well, it's part of the banter of it, though, to see whether you can keep up with it. And there's two ways of looking at it. The one way is, technically, if you had played it as Game Freak had suggested, you wouldn't have gone to that area too over level, if that makes sense. It's just the way you did it to get the levels to grind up. But if you had just gone straight into Surge, you would have been fine and you wouldn't have even noticed. It wouldn't have happened. If I had streamed it, I probably would have maybe kept them to give away. The main reason I just kept them was because for my second run to do it, like, I made a massive, nearly 2,000 name long list for nicknames. Different themes, just randomised it, because I hate picking nicknames myself. And because I had made that big list, I was ready to just sort of save everything. So I had like a whole Google Docs of everything I'd caught and everything that had died or become champion. And like, that's the thing that's very, very difficult with the Forever Lock. It's the I use the term, it's the paperwork. In your Nuzlocke, for example, there's a little check, but it goes in the box, it goes on the team, it's done. In the Forever Lock, so just say, for example, you're on your third run on yellow. We're going to do the games like you've done them. You've finished red, you've caught something on every route, and you've slotted it into the box. So on paper, you've caught a Pidgey to keep as a Pidgey. The next route, you've got a Pidgey that's going to become a Pidgeotto. And I don't know, say you did do the route to the left, you would have got a Pidgeot. So you have all three. So you know you don't have to catch a Pidgey. And it just sort of spirals down that you're double checking, filling in forms just to get all your assigned slots done. So like where Alk is now, I think he only needs to catch like 3 or 4 Pokemon all together. Doesn't need to do any catching, which is why I stopped the first one. I got a bit bored because you're literally just speed running to the gyms and a bit of grinding. You're not doing any catching apart from Paradox in Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, it's good because you put some really funky teams together. I will say that. Let's see. Let's just check our shinies. No, and no Palkia. Okay, that's not too much. But the hardest thing for the Forever Lock is that you have to have one Pokemon that can evolve twice. So 1 and 2 that can evolve one more time. You can't just put fully evolved stuff in your squad. Otherwise you will end up having all of the rubbish stuff as such at the end. What do you have? Cresselia again? No. So do I do another Blacephalon? I know it's been like the long chase for Blacephalon. But then, because you would have done like what you're doing with your run, but the idea is to catch as much as you can, because then the next run, you can then move the Pokemon into that save. It's a bit difficult to explain properly for Red or Kanto, because I don't think you can get anything under level 12 after Brock. So that probably won't be added to your teams. But if we use Sword and Shield as the example one, you can get access to the box, I believe, after Route 1. You could probably even skip Route 1 if you don't want to do an encounter and just do the story. And then you can put a team of anything under level 20 together. That's where it's quite interesting. And then with the DLCs in this and Scarlet and Violet, they can go back and forward between each game. Kid Akami is low levels if you do it before you're champion. So there's so much going on. You can do so much without realizing it. So that's the other side of it that's really interesting. Like one of the things I did was, I think I used a Diglett against Leon just so I could set up stealth rocks to kill Charizard very quickly because it has sturdy, so it was always going to survive one hit. But the only other side to that is you can strategically sacrifice a Pokemon to get something in your team. Wait, I thought it was up. We must be in the wrong lobby. We were meant to be joining Dragon's lobby. Let's try this again. We'll try it again. It's not a problem. Yeah, so that's the other side. No. Are you sure you definitely put the right code in? That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe it's just... I'll wait for you to say it's up and I'll try and join then. But it's a lot more. You can do it as strict to hardcore rules as you're doing. But sometimes, like, the person that finished it didn't really play by level cap rules. One, it's very difficult to get any legendary across the line. But the idea is you can't just have 2 good ones and the rest be like a level 5 Caterpie. You've got to get the Caterpie up to like the level 70. Oh, I've got someone else this time. We're having a nightmare here. Oh dear. If Boy from Belgium gets in, let me know. Otherwise I'll try again. But I was going to try and actually stream it. That was the original setup for everything. That was going to be the main goal, was to actually stream that from scratch. I think I called it like the Forever Lock 2.0. Hence why I made all the socials for it. There we go. Yeah, but the one restriction that the original creator put was everything had to be within 5 levels of each other. That's the thing they tried to put as the stricter side to it. I don't know, are you joining now or are you just still travelling? Otherwise we can go with just the 3. But like watching the person that did it did nearly 2 years on Twitch as their main thing, and I think at one stage they were doing 3 or 4 hours a day, but I think they got a little bit burnt out. So they ended up taking a break and haven't really gone back. But then, as I said, somebody came along and actually finished it. They got all 1080 into it, which was crazy to think, but they did. Well, this isn't nice. I get the... But I don't know how they did it, or things they were doing it all in their time, so they could just grind for hours. When you're trying to do it completely on stream, it's difficult. It's a bit like this challenge. Like, I could have easily got all of these saves done by now, but I can't. Because I want to make sure it's all on stream, and because it's not anything truly difficult, shall we say, it's not as bad. Even like the type lock, I probably would have liked to have done some of the grinding offline, but I felt like I should make sure it's always online when I do it. It's kind of the slight drawback of doing a challenge like that. It's a bit like, I'm guessing what you feel like when you're doing yours. You don't want to do anything offline. Welcome in, Squishy. Infestations. I don't know what the album is. What is the album? Who sings that? My music knowledge is about 20 years old. Sadly. I still don't know who it is after I googled it over. Is that a bad thing? So yeah, I'm not sure who that is. But hopefully it's... Is that... as long as you're enjoying the music, that's all that matters. Okay. Do I ask who Ghost is? Is Ghost a rapper or a band? Yeah, well, as I say, my music knowledge is terrible. Swedish metal, okay. That sounds like it might be more interesting than I thought it would be. Yeah, the cheating question is always going to be put up there. But yes, once it gets bigger and even more people come along, the grinding sessions are going to be like a blur, aren't they? Like I think you said before, they were longer for a while. That's why you do chat's favourite Pokemon. Because at least, even though the grinding is just happening in the background, you're paying enough attention to make sure nothing dies. But you're getting something done when everyone's sort of involved, so it's interacting with everyone. Which is, again, I think the most important thing when it comes to streaming stuff. You need to make sure everybody is involved. The more involved you are. Well, the chat's favourite Pokemon is fun to watch, because there's always an argument. But it'll probably get to a difficult stage where everybody will pick everything. Yeah, well, the thing that you'll find that's going to be most interesting is where you're doing so many on the first few generations. It's when you suddenly jump to Gen 5. That's where you're going to see like the speed fly up because of the experience share, isn't it? I guess I should just keep this for now. If you want it, Boy from Belgium, for Crunch, you can. It's up to you. But I do think it's the most important thing from streaming is just making sure everybody's involved. Big part of me wants to take this, but this is sensible. Actually, that's not what I thought it was. It's Gen 5. I'm not. I thought it was Kalos, but I could be wrong. I'm honest, but I could be wrong. I didn't play Gen 5 enough. Well, this game is close to having the shiny charm. This is probably the closest, if we're honest. It kind of depends how I want to do it. Now, the shiny charm was in Unova, yeah. What I meant was the experience share was, I think, was Kalos. But we're not sure if that was in Gen 5. But as I said, I've played through it once. I'm waiting for a remake. I think I'm going to be waiting for a while. Yeah, so once you hit X and Y, it's going to be a different test because you'll be trying to blitz through the games without having to deal with all of the extra bits happening, won't you? You might be that, yes. There's not too many encounters though in Kalos, really early. I guess you get the Fletchling and maybe a monkey. But we don't need to start planning Kalos out yet. We have to manage to get through one of Red. That will probably be more important. But the other side of it is more for Auras, you'll have it, and Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, etc, etc. And that's where the slower bits at the beginning or between gyms just fly through. I was actually still surprised that the Virtual Console didn't give you a double speed option. Like, again, Pokemon Stadium had that. I thought they may have put that in the Virtual Console as an option. But that's... I think if you did get that thing I put in the chat that KBD used for yellow, that has a speed up option on your computer. There were 76 in the game. It's also a little too close to Let's Go games. And a Kanto Pokemon available. There's two ways to look at it. If you're... The form ones for the Pavilion are going to be a nightmare, whatever you do. But as I've said before, Scarlet and Violet is going to be your friend for cleanup. But then you're also doing your dupes clauses, so... Like, you can get the Scatter Bug on the first route on Scarlet and Violet. It's on a few routes, so you could always run every Scarlet and Violet with a Pavilion. So that is something to maybe think about, but it's a lot of work. Part of me thinks you should just do a Nuzlocke on each run and then start seeing where the gaps are, if that makes sense. Yes, I did. Yeah, I was there for that bit. Yeah, and if that's an option, that would be like better for you, because as you said, you don't really like the DS the way it is at the moment. It's a little bit confusion. Well, it's all right for what the game you're doing now, but when you need the double screens, it's going to be even more like gluing the DS to the desk. Because I think what we sort of saw is there's a lot of conversation about should we, shouldn't we, and then we go to the encounter and it's the other thing anyway. I sort of agree with, I believe it's your brother, just go and run into the encounter and then discuss it rather than overthink it before you touch it. Is anybody... Which one of us wants to take the Swampert? Well, the double screen's good and bad. You would have to do a tiny bit of research of how much of the bottom screen is important. A lot of it is just the menus. Do you want to take this boy from Belgium, or should I just take it? Do you want it for health? Okay. Yeah, I thought the Tauros would be good. I was just double checking just for health and stuff. Maybe I should have taken it because there's a water type next. And we'll probably go to... Okay, the computer wants this. What do you get? Oh well, that's actually not too bad. Let's go to the left then, because I can heal. It's a Gastrodon. We should be okay with that, right? Like, the only thing that I can see getting very frustrating with your challenge is when you do keep failing. I'll say if you fail, it's doing the same bit again and again and again. Tomorrow will be day 7 of it, yes. And that'll be back in Violet, and I would like to think I can get all 8 badges done tomorrow. But the problem is I want to do so much at the moment, because I want to go and do the Kitakami storyline lower level. And we are going to also be trying to build a living dex in there. But I also want to get the Titans done, and I will have to do the Team Star. I want to try and do all of the end game bosses in one go. So the E4, Arven, Clavel, Penny, Nimona. Get that all done, and then maybe an episode of Area Zero unlock. But that's my thinking. That's why I put it a couple of weeks away. Because there is the other side of it. If I'm doing the shiny race from drawn cards, I've got, if we do Scarlet and Violet, I can't, if I draw a Paradox Scarlet one, I can't do it. It could be a problem. But that's another day's problem. That's why I won't ever do it just for one card to start with. I'm always going to do 3 or 4 cards. And it will always be something catchable in the current game I am playing on stream. If it's a random one. Because otherwise we have to swap games, and I don't want to be doing that. No, I have not sorted them out because the key problem is we'll use it as the one that always sticks at the top of my head, Shinx. Shinx is in all of the games. I know for a fact in that box there are elemental monkeys. So we know that we can't do that at the moment at all. So the idea is just to do it, and whatever comes out, and we just keep drawing till it's one that I can do. I have kept the elemental monkeys in there purely because we know for a fact that they are in ZA. That's the problem. It also depends how many people are going to actually do this redemption. Like, I have to just see, like, I know that most people are waiting for me to get to a stage where the map's at least fully unlocked, let alone the shiny charm. So if somebody put Darumaka, I'm nowhere near Sirchester, I can't shiny hunt it. But if I get to Sirchester, I can then do it. I did think I would get through this a little bit quicker, but today, like, I still got, like, next time we're on Sword, I'm going to do the rest of the first 2 gyms minimum. We might even try and do Holbury before we finish today, because we've done a big chunk of the Ace. Like, we should do a bit of story as well. But the other side is I'm going to try and get all 8 badges. I'm not going to hold off on this save. Because I need to get the 6th badge to get the water bike as well. I will probably want to do a little bit of the Urshifu stuff just so I can get a low level Urshifu or Cubfu to finish off that storyline, because I'm pretty sure if you move Cubfu out of the game or release it, the final battle you can use whatever you want. But I'm not sure, like, it won't take long to beat Holbury. I've got a team of level 60s. You know what I have forgotten to do, and that is actually take any of these Pokemon home. I was meant to take 2 more home on this run. I may take the Swampert, so... I don't want the Urshifu, I just need it. Well, actually, I don't even need to do it for the Pokedex. It's just I want to get so I can do, give all the max mushroom stuff. That's what I've got to do. I've got to finish that storyline, I believe. If I can do the max mushrooms, I can then do the Gigantamax form of all of the Pokemon I want to do. That'll be kind of the plan. But this will be the last DA. I will go do Holberry, and we'll see what the time is then. Like, I've only got to do the trial stuff, it's very easy. Probably do the chatting after it as well. Yeah, so I imagine we're just going to start throwing water at this thing and it'll die in one go. And I have my notes ready to name the Cricketot, because I didn't want to reopen the game to name it until we go back in there on Saturday. But I think I can unlock 3 maps. I may not make it to the Icelands before in the next string. Depends how much just catching I do, because I've got to do the catching to get the level ups, and that's going to be kind of important and annoying as well. The more I can catch, the better. So this will probably do about half its health. Oh, okay, maybe not half. I thought it did more. No, it's just, I think, from what I remember someone saying is if you take Kubfu out, it sort of reads it as it's not in the game, so you need to finish the battle to win. And, of course, that's the way to win it. Yes, they're all going to be named after countries this month. As I said, the idea is that the theme means that we can look through the collection after maybe 6 months and we can just look at each month we caught stuff. So like if we pick sweets next month, we can see which ones. Kubfu is shiny locked, sadly. Literally everything from Chen 8 and 9 that's new and legendary is shiny locked, sadly. Which, yeah, at the moment I'm going to go with Bhutan, because it's the same sort of colour as the flag that Casper suggested. Because that's he's gone colour code. Well, they've gone colour coded with it. But we need to make sure we try to remember nicknames when we're doing the catching. That was our mistake. Swampert is because we got very distracted at the end, wasn't it? I will probably... I've got 2 water types, so I'm going to take this with me. No shinies for everyone. You know what, I might just save this because I don't want Yuxi. Because it is fun to host. Well, the options were Bhutan and Spain, and I've used Spain on other things before. But it's a backup in case. I'm going to get rid of this because we know it's not helpful. Yeah, that was kind of what happened. Right, so that is it for the DAs today. I just want to get this next gym. Well, let's see what she has first. We'll go to Hullberry. Rayquaza now. Don't want Rayquaza. That's enough shinies of Rayquaza. Yes, that is the problem. It didn't ask me for a nickname, but we were so busy reading chats as well and trying to figure out how to take photos. We got distracted. Which again is part of the game, really, isn't it? Getting distracted by chat and forgetting the main work. But let's get this. I think cutscenes galore. Skip. Yes. I did notice it was more than real. I got to figure out how to get the sound the same level. Because like the alerts you guys use is slightly louder. And it's noticeably louder. That's the problem. But it's hard to test running past the shiny to the shiny noise. Because I generally play the games quite low level volume. Because, well, they can get a bit annoying being a lot louder than they are. So I got to figure that one out. But it's the one that most people use. If you ever want to use it for something, for sound alerts, I use something called Blurp. If you use one of them, you'll probably see it in the chat. Basically, it's pretty much a browser thing that you can adjust the sound in OBS. And I pretty much put it at the very, very back so you don't see the text. It's not in either of them, it's actually another one of those tools again. But you basically make a browser source like Stream Elements, put it into your OBS, then you can adjust the volume how you would like. I only use it for channel points. All of my proper alerts are Stream Elements. Even like the overlay here is Stream Elements. Like the only bit that is actually in OBS is the camera, mic and game. All the rest is Stream Elements. So yeah, that's. I found it easier to operate because Stream Elements lets you build the overlays on their website, not necessarily download ones they've got and then input them into OBS. That makes sense. I prefer being able to do it the other way. But that's just me. I do things that are complicated long ways. Now I know I do need to pretty much battle every single trainer in here, because I think I can dodge one. I don't think you can dodge the rest. Because at the beginning, when I first started doing this, I signed up to like Owned, Streamlabs, and all of them, and then slowly I started taking them back off because I didn't need them. I didn't need anything that Streamlabs had that Stream Elements didn't. Owned was pretty much Streamlabs. Again, didn't need it, kicked it off. So it just seems a lot smoother for my personal taste of what I want to do. I like things being pretty simple. So I think I've got it set up to be pretty simple in the long run. But I also mentioned that I bought like the fancy version of ZA today with a load of merch to go with it. So don't know why, I just did. But it's come straight from Nintendo, so it should be delivery day. About to do almost everything. Yeah, it's kind of difficult at the start because you don't want to ask other streamers what they do, if that makes sense. Because like sometimes it feels like you need their help. That makes sense. It is out on like the 16th of October, so still got a long way to go. And then when you first sign up, you see like all these videos pop up, say use Stream Elements, use Streamlabs, and like I know you can do a little bit of lurking in streams and have a look at their chats to see what they've got in that isn't a person. And from what I understood, Streamlabs is basically OBS that you pay for, if that, to get like the best stuff. From what I read, because they basically stole the source code or something and then charge people for it. But I don't know if that is right or not. But that's what I had heard from some people. So I have 25 scenes in OBS, and most of them volunteer the information and use Stream Elements for everything. Yeah, pretty much. I forgot what I have to do here. I don't think I do this one. I've actually only got like 4. And that one of them is starting and one of them is BRB and ending, all connected to one. I just got to change the picture. One is actually set for when I was going to try and record movie reviews on using OBS. But it's interesting, like just seeing like the so-called experts with endless videos, and they're all telling you different things. Some are sponsored to say things are good as well. The best thing that I found was just be in chats and talk to the streamer when it's a quieter spell. Like, there's no point going in there when, like, there's no point me going in your chat when you're facing the Elite Four and going, oh, so what do you do to set up your stream? Because you need to pay attention. But if you're grinding, doing like the slow bit of it, and we go, oh, I see you use Stream Elements. Any tips on using it? And that's. But it shouldn't also be the first message you say. It's sort of. But again, that's me. I prefer the older fashioned. Like, I've had people moan that I don't share my stream in all their Discords. I do it like once a month maybe. Because I'm pretty laid back. I don't really like doing it too often on everybody's stream. That was wrong, wasn't it? No, that's right. No? Yeah, that's right. I don't know why I'm struggling on the water puzzle. But again, it's all about what you find easier to use. Like, everybody has preferences at the end of the day. I think I need to go down here first. Because I need to do... No, I don't. Damn it. I need to do the red one first, then the blue one. And then the red one again, I think. I'll probably do it wrong. Yeah, and then some people prefer... I see some people who just pretty much stream straight from their consoles and they're quite happy with how it works that way. Like, again, I'm using the cheap capture card that's like 2 years old now. It literally plugs into the cable that goes into the telly and plugs into the laptop. That's it. I don't play it on the telly. I can't with the one I've got. I probably still couldn't, even with the space I've got. The telly's too far away. No, I operate off 2 laptops. Like, I've got no like fancy equipment for any of this. So that's the other side of it. Like, at the beginning you make do with what you've got. There's no point going out your way and buying something very expensive. If you have only been going for a couple of months, you know you could lose interest. People might not, you might not like the game anymore. Like, ZA might turn out to be one of the worst games we've ever played. We don't really know. I did do it wrong, didn't I? I needed to do the yellow one first. Yeah, we need to do the yellow one first. I knew I did it wrong. The amount of times I forget this puzzle. But at least the battle in the final will be easy. And then next time we're on here, we're going to do the Gala Mine and get to the Fire Gem 100% done, because I need to get that done really, because it will annoy me. I don't know what the slab is, as in, what is the slab for? Is that as in a Pokemon card? Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. I'm a bit confused. Or is it a capture card, maybe? As we say, I keep everything so simple. Like, I still use a blue snowball mic. Okay. That we weren't sure. Which card have you got in the slab? Yeah, we went 007 because I couldn't really bother to think of a number. I keep wanting to try and use one of the gym leader's numbers to see if it changes it, but I am too lazy to remember. Probably me. Like, it would be funny if these numbers actually did like a code to get something free. Just that there's 999 potential outcomes for something free. It'd be quite funny. I keep looking at other little job lots of unwanted bulk Pokemon cards, but I do need to really just use what I've got first. We'll wait till we get like a big payout before we do anything else. Like, as we said, the cards came exclusively from the payout from Twitch. That was it. That was the reason why we did them. Very nice. Alright, fair enough. I'm really not good at knowing the value of Pokemon cards. Like probably the most valuable one I have is what is it? It is a base set Blastoise or Venusaur. And I've got 2 Blastoise. No, I've 2 Blastoise, yeah, 1 Venusaur. And when I started getting them when I was a kid. I think there was a card shop that if I wanted to sell my base set and the bulk for it, according to what they offer, it would be £300. But then you would have to take probably 30 out of that for time to check them all, because they charge like £15 an hour. I don't have one of every Pokemon, no. I don't even know 100% what I've got. I've had a quick glance to make sure there wasn't a ton of energy, and that was pretty much all I did. I got given 5 energies from one of the 3 bundles, which will be, you'll catch that type of Pokemon if it gets drawn. There aren't too many trainers. There's a few trainer cards, but some of them, I know the one I most notably saw was Iona. So what we would do is you can catch a shiny Pokemon that Iona uses. There are a few rubbish ones, I think, but if it's a rubbish one like a Pokeball, we might do something like you catch it in a Pokeball. But there's a few that I didn't really like the look of. So, but it was only about 3 or 4, and considering we got 250 from 3 different buyers combined. Yeah, potion, it's maybe one in there. But the thing is, I didn't want to look at them because then I could put it in my head to put the ones I want to do first at the front. If that makes sense. Like, I wanted it to feel like I hadn't really studied the cards, if that makes sense. Yeah, Chansey will be a nice easy one, at least. Apart from when it runs away. But the idea will be, hopefully people can submit them into the Discord. I'm tempted to set up an event on the Shiny Hunt website, but I don't know if people who aren't members of it can submit stuff. Sorry? It's a little bit difficult, really, to know like how the events work on that site. Right, let's just get this cutscene done, and then I can just run into the next area next time. And we'll just wrap things up. I know I've got to go in here for this stupid nonsense nada. Because I did actually sell all of my jungle and fossil cards for about 100-ish. If it is a Cricketot, well, it is a gender, so I do need 4 or 2 Cricketoons and Cricketots. Good luck with the sale. On paper, I probably should just sell my cards on eBay, but I'm too lazy to do that. Even if it is something that I have everything for, we will still be doing it, and they'll just get added to the giveaway boxes. At the end of the day, if I'm only pinpointing the things I 100% need, it pushes out an audience member that could need that and would like a bit of motivation to get it done. That's kind of why I'm doing it the way we are. It doesn't really matter if I get dupes. Like, what I might do is end the video and just show you the dupes in home quickly. But we'll just get through this, and then we'll save here. So we've already got a box in here for spare shinies. I've got one that's going into Legends Arceus, which I should have done, but I was too lazy to do. So let's have a look. So that's today's mission done. We got our second badge, and we did some DAs, but no shinies. So we'll be back with Violet tomorrow or next time. So hopefully we can finish off that storyline.